ये है आपका अपना सबरंग 94.7 FM.
To delay the federal budget. Usually it comes down in February or March, but because the situation is so volatile right now with oil prices, and that does make up a significant amount of revenue for all governments, we're going to delay the budget until April, and that will give an opportunity to have accurate forecasts about where oil prices will be. But the second very good piece of news that we received from our finance minister, I think people tend to think sometimes the sky is falling when oil prices go down.
Yeah.
Everyone worries.
That's right.
Today we had the news, Target is closing its stores, and people are wondering, okay, what's coming next? And we got some calm news and some good news from the finance minister, and that is that we will indeed balance the federal budget this year in 2015-16 as planned and as promised. And I think that, basically he told us, take a deep breath. You can breathe a sigh of relief. We know that we're going to have these ups and downs in oil prices. It is a commodity that goes up and down, but we have built in contingencies into the plan. We will balance the federal government with the federal budget, and also that we will continue with the infrastructure program spending. We will continue with the transfer payments to provinces. In fact, the transfer payments will be as high as they've ever been. They've gone up by 65%, these transfer payments from the federal government to the provinces since the Conservatives were elected in 2006. And Alberta will in fact receive $5 billion, $5.2 billion in transfer payments. That's an all-time high. So people there's no need for pessimism at this point. Yes, kind of lock in and be prepared but we're going to stay the course.
So it's very good, like you covered up the news about that, because Target was the biggest news today morning, like 17,600 people will be out of job very soon because they are closing after 22 months in the Canadian soil. They are closing their business, but I think they were not doing great. Personally, I believe I went couple of times to Target, and it looks like they are treating Canadian as a second citizen, because they were not offering such kind of the services they used to deliver in states. Mm-hmm. And even one of my classmates, he used to be vice president for the Target, and now he moved to the Burberry company. He moved to London.
So you have personal experience here, yes.
So it's like they were not very great. So, but it's really very bad. They are closing, and we are losing so many jobs in Canada.
We never like to see job losses because, especially our government, we take pride in the fact that we've created 1 million net new jobs in Canada since Canada went into the worldwide recession in 2008. And those job numbers are things that we watch constantly, because we know that what people need in order to be happy and successful is they need employment, and they need to know that there's security around them. So we just want to get the message out to Canadians that the federal government, we have been watching the bottom line. We've been watching the books very carefully. This will not be the end of the world. There are going to be some tougher times ahead. We're not used to oil at these low prices. Oil of
because I think people will like to know how you will balance the budget, because when earlier in November we were over $80 or something, and very quickly we fall down. And I was listening to CBC, and they were telling like maybe it will stop around $40, and it depends how long they will stay. It will stay there. But so how you will balance so much money gap? Like if in a layman language people want to see like this is so high and so less. Even I was filling my gas, and I tried to keep my money low, but still it was too much for my car to fill the gas.
And I think that's a really good analogy. So it's the same as you would do at home. If you had an extra source of income that was bringing in good money, and suddenly that source of income is gone, but you still have your main source of income. So you say, okay, I still need to balance my home budget. I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my heat, I have to pay gas for my car, and I have to pay for food. Once those things are paid for, my food and shelter and transportation costs, what else do I have in my budget that I don't need? So this is the time when governments do look at the nice to haves that they might have liked to have put extra money into. But we're saying that the budget we had planned will be this very similar to what we had planned before. We've been doing an efficiency review of every single government department over the last several years. So once in every 3 years, years, a department gets reviewed, and if there's extra things, like every program isn't going to last forever.
Yeah.
Everything has a time frame. So you might be paying for piano lessons for your son this week and ballet for your daughter, but once they finish a certain amount of time in that, you might move on to something else or say, we're not going to take piano or ballet this year.
So that's very good example actually you gave us. And there is a couple other options I also, when I was listening to or watching TV, and I found if we are losing some money in oil, the same time our export is increasing and we are getting better with the mobility is more business we can do and transportation is cheaper. So I think Canada will be getting still enough share from and the same time US is growing very fast because of this shale gas and all. And if they are happy, so we are also, I think...
we'll get a little bit of a bump because the U.S. economy, and they're our major trading partner, their economy is coming back. But remember that the U.S. has stopped buying as much oil from Canada as they used to. And we've been planning for this. So, you know, our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, has been out, along with Trade Minister Ed Ast, and they've been signing free trade deals around the world. You've heard of the Korean free trade deal, the EU free trade deal. There are 43 free trade deals that Canada has signed now with countries around the world. So we have other places to put our products, but we also need still to get our oil to market because we're receiving $25 per barrel of oil less when we sell it in North America than if we sold it overseas. So when they talk about us wanting international market access, that is still very much a priority. We need pipelines to get our oil to the oceans so that we can ship it to countries that will pay world price for oil. That world price is $25 more for selling just the same amount of oil that we're selling now.
So it's a lot of hope when we attended today event. So people were happy actually. They left
kind of optimistic, didn't they? They went in wondering if it was bad news, and they came out, I felt, quite optimistic.
Yeah, because everyone is in shock, like what will happen. But when they listen, the finance minister Honorable Joe Oliver, and they were quite happy, like it's getting better. So maybe we are not at the same condition we are thinking, but still it's very good.
And that's important to know that Canada went in to this low oil price situation with the best economy in the G7, the best job creation record. So we're hearing about the U.S. creating more jobs right now, but remember that the U.S. didn't create anything near as many per capita jobs as Canada has been. And we also have some bright horizons coming, and one of them is the family tax benefit package that we've just announced that will be coming into effect this year. That's $4 billion that will be going back into the pockets of families.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀਅਤ ਦੀ ਮਸਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਵੋ ਮਲੰਗ 24 ਘੰਟੇ 7 ਦਿਨ ਸਬਰੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਬਰੰਗ ਰੇਡੀਓ 94.7 FM